It's time for injustice to finally be coming to a close. But what is the catalyst that will begin the ending? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks to single issues and I break them down to the digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Injustice has been going on for a very long time, and Year 5 is the largest year out of all of them, due to the demand for Injustice videos and the fact that Year 5 is still going and is turning out to be double the length of any other year. We're going to be bringing you Part 3, and hopefully, I think it'll be ending on issue 40, and we can bring you the conclusion. Injustice takes place in a world where Superman was tricked into killing his own wife and unborn child. He then murdered the Joker to prevent this type of event from happening ever again. Batman couldn't believe that Superman had murdered, and what he did next shocked him even further. Superman decided to end all conflict, and if you were against him, you answered to him for it. This started a war between the two best friends in the DC universe as to what was right, and it involved everything from the Green Lanterns versus the Yellow Lanterns, magic versus demons, new gods versus old gods, and even Superman's clone. And now, Harley Quinn is riding on her motorcycle up to the home of Billy Batson because she kinda likes that Shazam guy. She looks at him as the kid. Can you turn into Shazam so that I can smush him with my hammer? No, Harley, go home. I was afraid you were gonna say that. So Harley pulls out a gun and points it at his friends. Transform or I'm going to shoot one of them. Billy finally agrees, but says that they need to move the fight to an empty mall. And he says the magical words, Shazam! At the mall, Harley asks him one simple question. Why are you on Superman's side? He's a horrible super despot. The worst ever! You're one to talk, Harley. A minute ago, you were gonna shoot a kid, and at the start of this, you were all about clowns and nuclear bombs. I wasn't actually gonna shoot the kid, and I was in a transitional phase. If you stayed with Superman, then put him up. I'm not gonna fight you, Harley, Shazam says as he turns his back to her, only to get hit by her hammer and thrown across the parking lot. Everyone else might be short on the strength, granting green pills, but Harley has her own collection. Shazam gets back up with the speed of Mercury, slamming Harley into the ground, tearing up the asphalt with her body. Then, she kicks him in the chin. What's your problem with me, Harley? Why are you with the regime? She shouts as they run at each other and begin swinging their fists. Why do you care? Because I like you, Shazzy, and you should know better than to side with Super Bum. We're the good guys, Shazam tells her, throwing her down. Are you? Your boss killed 200 innocent people in cold blood less than a week ago. That's who your fearless leader is, liar. That wasn't him. Then Harley gets up, leaving him to ponder that, and she drives off. Meanwhile, at Wayne Manor, Alfred sits in his chair. The polite thing to do would be to knock. Sadly, you took leave of your senses long ago. And he looks up to see Superman floating over him. You think I'm insane? Is that it? I choose not to say what I think. You had plenty to say about me to Damien. My life is ruled by fear, is it? So that's why you're here? To offer your seething disapproval for my opinions? Or do you intend to bully me into retracting them? I don't care what you think, but what I do care about is where is Bruce? Alfred puts down his book. The years are catching up with me. I can't stay up as late as I used to. Let yourself out. Then, Alfred walks away from Superman. Get back here! Good night, Mr. Kent. And Superman's eyes burn with rage. Elsewhere, Batman flies his Batjet to a remote location in the Himalayas where an unlikely ally is asking if he can help. Hawkman wants to join the fight. The next day, Alfred wakes up to find his home filled with balloons. Because he won't tell Bruce Wayne his birth date, so Bruce is forced to guess. And his guess is that this day is Alfred's birthday every year. It's a tradition. Their talk quickly turns into how frustrating it is. Bruce can't seem to find a way to win this fight, and Alfred tells him that he has to. The world needs Bruce. As he hangs up the call, his watch goes off, alerting him to the presence of someone in the Batcave. He runs downstairs to find Victor Zsasz in the Batcave. Victor Zsasz is one of Batman's oldest villains, and he's a serial killer that cuts his skin for every person that he kills. He's a master with surgical precision when it comes to knife fighting. Victor asks Alfred, where's Batman? And Alfred tells him, if I knew, I wouldn't say. And Victor smiles. I was hoping you'd say that. He pulls out his knife and begins to battle with Alfred. While Alfred puts up a good fight at the start, it doesn't take long for Victor Zsasz to get in his little cuts. One on Alfred's shoulder, then in his knee, and then on his stomach. Victor tells him, just call Batman on the Bat computer. It'll end. But Alfred refuses, telling Victor, why would I do that? I'm about to stage a daring comeback. And as Alfred falls defeated, he asks, who sent you? And Victor guts him, telling him, the devil. A little time passes and Damien decides to visit his old friend. While he is with the regime, he still makes time to come and visit Alfred occasionally. He comes down the steps to the Batcave, singing a little song. Happy birthday to Alfred. Nothing else rhymes with Alfred. Don't even know if it's your birthday. Happy birthday to... And then he sees it. Blood pooling on the floor and his dearest friend dead. Damien brought the information of the death to the regime, where they went over the notes that Victor was there for information, and there's no doubt that someone put him up to it. The regime decided that they would figure out how this happened, and the Flash and Cyborg walked into another room to see Damien with bloody knuckles punching the floor, furious over the death of his friend. They tell him that they really don't have words for this, so anything he needs, just ask. And he tells them, I need Victor Zsasz. Elsewhere, in Gotham, Batgirl, Batwoman, and Catwoman all meet up, and Batgirl says that Bruce is off-grid, so he must be searching for Zsasz somewhere right now. None of them know what to do, so they decide that they're going to start setting up funeral arrangements, and they leave. And Victor Zsasz, he knows that he's doomed, and he climbs out of a sewer, steals a car, and with a worried look, he begins to try and drive away, until his car is hit on the side by the Batmobile. As he crawls through the windshield trying to figure out what's going on, he sees Batman standing in the cockpit of his Batmobile, walking towards him. He knows what this means, and he runs to the nearby alley, while Batman gives chase. Batman throws 2 batarangs, cutting up Victor Zsasz's knees, dropping him, and then he jumps on him, beating him repeatedly, demanding the answer to one single question. Who sent you? Was it Superman? Who sent you? Zsasz tries to speak through his broken mouth. That's all you want to know? Yes! Shouldn't have told me that. So Batman beats him again, and then Damien stands behind him. Kill him or I will. You want to kill Victor Zsasz? The real question, Father, is why don't you? Wanting and doing are 2 different things, Damien. Get out of the way, Dad. And then Damien jumps in to fight against his father. But in the end, Batman can still beat Damien. That's when Superman arrives. Stop lying to yourself, Bruce. You want revenge as much as Damien. No one will judge you for that. Alfred would. You only want Zsasz dead because you want to cover your tracks. Superman denies it, and he flicks Batman aside. Go ahead, Damien. Finish this. Damien cracks his knuckles, and he smiles. But Bruce pops one of the strength-granting pills. Get away from Victor Zsasz! And then he hits Superman so hard that he throws him into a building, and he throws Damien down the alley. Superman gets up, and they leap in to start their fight, one that has been going on for 5 years. 5 years of ideals put to the question. They go back and forth, blood spilling all over the place. Superman using his sheer strength to try and beat Batman, but with the pills, Batman stands a chance, and using his superior fighting style, he drops Superman. Because when they both have super strength, and they are both equal, Batman can beat him. And then he grabs Superman by the neck and he asks Damien, is this what you want? Do you want me to kill him and end this 5 years of fighting? Is this it? Do you want me to kill Clark and become a killer like him? Am I supposed to believe that you'd break his neck? Are you willing to kill me to save him, Damien? Without a second thought, and Damien throws one of his blades at his own father. Batman drops Superman, catching it. I was bluffing, but you weren't. Nope. Flash runs over telling everyone to stop. Then Diana and Hal both arrive stating that this ends. Give it up, Batman. You don't stand a chance, Hal tells him. Victor Zsasz starts getting up asking, can I kill the Batman? And Damien kicks him across the face, so Batman kicks Damien down the alley again. Flash catches Damien, preventing him from getting harmed. And that's when Diana hits Bruce into a dumpster. So Bruce grabs the dumpster, and as Hal flies in trying to hit him with a yellow ring construct, slams it on top of Hal. Diana jumps in and begins fighting with Bruce, while Flash asks Damien, are you gonna join the bloodbath? You have a problem with the regime, Flash? Damien asks him. Actually, I do. Bruce holds Diana back, demanding to know, did the regime put Zsasz up to this? Did you have Alfred killed? We would never, Bruce, she tries to tell him, and then he hits her with a right hook. Open your eyes, Diana. Every heinous thing that Clark has done, and you let your love for him blind you. And that's when she uppercuts him. How dare you question my integrity? And Hal blasts Batman in the back. With Batman on the ground, they officially tell him that he will now stand trial for his crimes. They will arrest him. And that's when Flash grabs Bruce and he runs him out of the fight. Off in the woods, Bruce asks him, why did you save me, Barry? And he tells him, Alfred deserves a true funeral, and it wouldn't be one without you, Bruce. Clark won't forgive you for this. I know, and I'll deal with that, Bruce. Barry, you're the only one who can stop this. You have to go back in time to prevent this from ever happening. Too many are dead, and Clark's not Clark anymore, Barry. But we don't know what timeline I would change this to, Bruce. That's not how it works. It can't be any worse than this one, Barry. At least consider it. I'll think about it. And then Barry runs off, leaving Bruce there in the woods alone. Bruce went back to his bunker, and he put on a suit. Barbara walked in to tell him that Kate and Selena are meeting him at the site. Then she saw him looking down at something, a piece of paper. It's Alfred's birth certificate. And Barbara asks him, how long have you had that? Bruce explains, for a while. I didn't want to spoil the tradition. So she asks him, do you think he knew you had it? Absolutely. Alfred knew everything. Now, if you're reading the digital issues, this will bring you right up to issue 27, where we discover what happened with Barry, and since it looks like we're going to probably be ending this around issue 40, I'll be bringing you the next part of this and then the conclusion very soon. That's what my plans are. I appreciate you guys sticking it out with us for this year 5 situation. The fact that it has been extended and there are bonus issues and more stuff going on is making this year last longer than anything. It was never intended for me to do more than 2 videos for this, but due to the demand of you guys constantly asking for more Injustice videos and the fact that they don't appear to be ending it, and I think that has something to do with the announcement of Injustice 2, which means they're probably going to stretch this out until they start the next comic book line. Anyway, if you want to chat about Injustice and what you feel about it and what's going on with it, follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian and Instagram at Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time right here.